Alright, well, we might as well get underway because I think we're running a little bit over time, so we'll try and cut back so you get more lunchtime. Grab a seat. So basically, just an introduction. My name's Rene. I'm from Xtreme Software, and basically, I just want to talk to you a little bit about your student management, portal, e-learning, LMS, all that sort of thing. So, just a bit of an interest to sort of gauge where you guys are from, what your role is at the school. If you're all teaching staff or admin staff. I know some of you are techs. Basically, what I want to show you is a product that is designed to bring all your other products together. So it sits on top of your timetabling and cases or chess, draws all that data in and makes it available on the curriculum side. So you can do all your attendance, your student well-being, welfare, incident management, career plans, learning plans, all that sort of thing in there. So just want to give you a bit of a, yeah, just pop out. So I think probably the best is if you just interrupt as we go along. I'll just show you little bits and pieces and you can sort of ask about how that integrates or how that might integrate with some of the products you already use. So the whole idea of the software is designed so that everyone knows what's going on at the school at one time. Yeah. So this login page is the login page for a staff member when they log in, and this pulse feed here is basically everything that's happening about your students. So if a student receives a detention, if they receive an incident, they're out of uniform, they're marked late, they haven't handed up work and it's overdue, it feeds in this list. And you can adjust that as a staff member based on what your mental group settings are. So you can change and say, I want to track these particular students. If you're the welfare coordinator or part of the welfare team, you might want to track particular students that you know have issues. So you can add those students or those groups in there, and everything that gets added about those students you get notified about. Same if you're a coordinator, it works the same way. You can track your year level or your group of students. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just sort of go through, there's a lot in the program, and so we won't go through all of it, but just to give you some idea. We're going to pick our usual problem student. You should be expelled by now. But basically, all the information from cases comes through. So not just their form and year level and so forth, but if we look at our family information, their primary contacts, emergency contacts, etc. And from that, you can then go and generate letters to parents, generate emails to parents and so forth. So all the contact details are in there, and the program uses some of those contact details, as I'll show you as well, in some of the incident management side and that sort of thing. That sort of makes sense? Everyone making sense? The attendance feeds in as well. I haven't got attendance marked in today because I don't mark attendance every day, but the attendance feeds in, your timetable feeds in. You can choose to mark attendance through the software, or you can integrate it with your existing software. So if you're using something like a Daymap or First Class, an A+, it will feed all that data in as well, and you can do it. So basically we're creating like a almost one-stop shop for staff to be able to log in and manage the students and look at everything about the student. I'll sort of just jump around. Some of the other things, I'm not sure if you can see that at the back there, that you can track achievements, so all the good things students do, be it an award they get or sporting achievement and so forth. And all this information that we're looking at, you can change it so that only certain staff members can view certain things, that you can push the information out to parents so that parents can look at the kids' achievements or the incidents and all that information as well. So it's completely customizable as to how you want to do that. We'll just have a look at some of the incident management tracking as well. This is just an example of some I've added in as I've gone along, but basically it gives you a list of all the incidents that has occurred with the student. So as a coordinator, as a teacher, you can go in, you can fill out the form. So what we're going to do is get away from the paper-based filling out and going into electronic. And the reason being is because the paper gets lost, it doesn't get passed on, it might take a couple of days before it reaches the people it should. All of this is instant. So it gets added in, the people that you know will be notified through their pulse feed. And there's also a facility in here to set it up so that it will actually email staff that you want those particular incidents to go to. So if you're adding in misbehaviour for a Year 9 student, for example, it can also additionally send out emails to Year 9 coordinators and the assistant principal if you wanted to. With the actual incidents, all the forms in the software, not just the incidents, but achievements and so forth, you can customise all the forms. So you can change it. This is just an example I've added in, but you can redesign the layout, you can match it to your existing forms that you've got. And there's various levels of permission. So as a general classroom teacher, you might log in, you might only be able to fill out this section. But then as a coordinator, you might want to add in all the actions that were taken. So detention, parents contacted, students suspended, and all the other various processes that you go through for the student management. That make sense? Yeah? Okay, lovely. Some of the forms in here are preset. So for example, this one here with the suspensions, it's actually based on the department suspension performer. So it has the same fields that you fill out. We've added a few more so you can categorise suspensions and all that sort of thing. But when you actually print the suspension performer, if you give it a second, it's running off my laptop, it actually looks exactly like the department suspension performer. So all the details are filled in, all the contact details come through from cases, and all the previous suspensions that you've added and so forth come in as well as your reasons for suspension, your student support group, fields, and dates and so forth, and signatures at the bottom of the form. So we've made it really easy. All of this that you print and generates into a PDF document, so you have the option of saving that, then emailing it or printing it off. With the actual fields that the form, that you enter in the software, doesn't have to be just the incidents, but any sort of form, you can additionally have it send out to parents or to students. And so you can customise it and design it however you want so that you're giving that feedback to parents, yeah, or to students as well if you want them to. As I mentioned before, the timetable comes through as well. So as the timetable gets updated in cases or chess or first class, whatever other timetabling software you use, it gets updated in here. There's reports and letters, so you can go in and you can put all of your students' academic reports in there, your semester reports, your interim reports, weekly reports, and teachers can go in and look at all that history and download those reports, as can parents, which I'll show you as well at the moment.
Excuse me,
yep.
Just on the flags there, that's all 2013. What about the 2012 data? Does that come up there, or is that a separate
So you can
file?
search up here on the top. It shows the current year by default, and it keeps all the history about the student. So it never leaves it, it never archives it. You can go back as many years as you've added data for that student, or the student's been at school, I should say. Yeah.
Thanks.
Just had a thought when you said that and I forgot.
So is that all that data backed up in the cloud, or?
No, the actual software is installed at your school. Because I was just about to say, there's menu items here like the well-being, confidential notes, basically to categorise different items, where you can record all the confidential information about students. So that might be your psychologist assessment, that might be DHS is involved in a family situation and so forth. And you probably don't want us to have access to the data, and we don't really want to have access to it either. So the program's installed at your school and stays at the school. Yeah.
Sorry,
So,
this might be a bit early, but does it write back to cases as well?
No. We can, but we're not allowed to.
Yeah, that's
So not even the student achievement data that you entered?
No, not allowed to put anything back into cases. That's just the department rules. No provider. We can pull data from cases, we can pull whatever we want, but we're just not allowed to physically write back into cases by the attendance. Is the only thing we're allowed to write back into cases.
And the other thing is there is an archiving option, isn't there? Once the kid leaves the school, you can
so
their
by default it only shows you your active students, your active and future students, but you can look back at any history of students that you've had before, previously. So, if students left, if the parent comes in and wants their access to their reports, for example, you can go back in, you can pick the student, you can print off their reports that you've got. Yeah. Sorry, you had a question before?
That was based along those lines. Is there any way of pulling students in that aren't current? So previous students that you've had that have left in previous years that you do have reported
Yes, it imports the whole lot.
And drags them all in?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So by default it doesn't show you,
Yeah,
but you
they're
can
all
set
there.
it in so that it actually, just for a tick box, that it shows you all your previous students that you've had.
Okay.
So if a student is currently in year 12, for example, now, you've got all this history about the student leaves at the end of the year, they won't pop up in the software anymore because they're not an active student anymore.
What about kids that, if we buy the software now, kids that we've had 2 and 3 years ago?
Yes, they
They're
still
all
get
there.
imported. Yeah, yeah. So the whole lot, basically from when your school started, gets imported. Yeah. Yeah, as I was saying before, with the confidentiality, so you have like the well-being here, where you can attach things like DHS reports or psychology, or you can turn this into a counselling form or a student support group form, add in revision dates and so forth, and all that information will then pop up on your homepage, and you can filter by all that information as well. Yeah.
So you can upload like psychology reports and speech assessments?
Yes, you can upload whatever you want. There's no limit to how big or how small or what sort of document size. Because the idea is that all this data at the moment is sort of spread between all these different people at the school, yeah, all these different staff. And what we always get the feedback is that it's very difficult when staff members leave or they change roles or students swap between staff. The information doesn't always move with them or gets passed down. So the idea is really that the more you enter into the program, the more you get out. So you enter all your wellbeing information. You might leave, someone else takes over your position. They have all that data available to them straight away. Yeah, and you can customize it so that only certain people have access to certain areas. So if you're looking after the wellbeing side, it's only you that has access to it, and no one else can. Or in the program, you can mark certain item as public, and so even though you're the only person that has access to all the wellbeing information, those items that are marked as public appear to all other teaching staff to give them some information. Yeah. Same with these alerts. All the alerts come through from cases, so your access restrictions, ESL integration, etc. You can add in your own alerts as well, and that alert then appears anywhere where that student's name appears in the software, just to give staff an added alert about something that's happening with the student. Yeah. Should actually have a look what the time is. I'll look a bit of time. One of the other things you can do with the program, if I just go back to the staff page here, is we've added in what we call the markbook, and all of your classes as a teacher appear in this markbook. We'll just go through, and it basically replaces your paper markbook, and so your classes appear. You can add in different groups. I've just added in one for classwork, for homework. You can add in whatever groups you like. You can do this from an admin level and push them out to classes and to staff members, or you can do it as your staff member yourself. And so all of your kids appear in the class, and you can set all different types of work or tasks for the kids to complete. That can be, your classwork. It can be an assignment. It can be some sort of assessment. You can choose when and that task should be visible to students and for parents. Whether they should be able to upload work. You can mark all the work online. And then what basically happens is the other side to this is the parent portal side. Hang on, wrong one. Which is this one here. And as you can see, if I'm logged in as a student at the moment, I've got one classwork task that's overdue, one due this week, homework that's overdue. And if I go to classwork and homework, it actually shows you what's due this week. So it will go through, and you can see that Healthy Minds assignment that we've added in, that's due. Yep.
So how does the work that the student does, you mentioned that they can upload it, how does that actually work?
So as a student, you get an upload button, so you can enable whether students should or shouldn't upload work. You can also say, I only want them to upload once, and that's it, and they can't load up anymore, so that might be like their final draft copy. And then once that work's uploaded, you as a teacher can go in and you can say, I want to expand this, and you can download their work, you can set extension dates, you can add in feedback, and that all then appears in the portal as well. Yeah. So as a teacher, you can go in and see, oh, this student's uploaded 5 documents at these particular dates and times, and you can mark their work and add it all in. The program will actually alert you. So if you'll set a particular due date for work, it will actually alert you that 5 students out of your class have not completed this work item and have not submitted any work. You can also use it to follow up for the work they haven't completed. So there's actually a report that you can run that gives you all the students across the school or cohort or wherever you want to filter that haven't completed a certain task by the due date. You can then go and email them, or you can send out letters to parents and so forth, or set detentions or whatever your current process is for all of that. That sort of makes sense? Yeah?
Sorry, you might have already answered this and I've just missed it. When you've got, for example, an assignment like that, can you set it so that, number one, you just see the results?
Yeah.
And
yep.
number two, can you add comments rather than just giving a grade?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can add in comments, and then you can choose
so
how much of that parents
like
can see, parents and students can see. Yeah. So you can say, I want for this task, I don't want students and parents to see it, or I want them to see the task, but I don't want them to see what the actual result is. In which case, in the portal, when a parent or a student logs in, they see the task, but they just see that the work's been completed, and they can't see the feedback or the actual grade that you've given them.
So the feedback, can you actually provide the feedback on the task?
Yes, specific to that task.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, but I'm talking about on the task that the kids actually upload.
Oh yes, you can. Yeah, you would just have to reattach that document because there's no facility because it's web-based to edit it in a browser. If that makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yep. And
He might be first because I'm not on this.
oh, okay. No. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
I was just wondering about upload capabilities. You said it's web-based. I'm assuming upload from home is fine.
Yes.
And then that.
Yeah, it works with any browser. Windows, Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Upload.
then stored online at your server, or does
On
it
your
then
server.
go
Yeah.
to our server?
No, it goes straight to your server. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the same. I think some schools at the moment they host their website internally, and they have to open specific ports with the department. So it works basically the same way. You open a specific port or address so that students and parents can log in. There's 2 different interfaces so that you can actually see who's logged into what, and so you can elect only students and parents have access to it from outside, and staff don't, or you can have both available from outside. So it's up to you. Sorry. Yeah.
The software itself, because it's attached to cases, obviously it all runs from the curriculum side.
Yes.
From the admin side.
No, it runs from the curriculum side.
All right.
So it all sits on the curriculum side, and it just sucks in the data from cases because we can get from cases to the curriculum, but not vice versa. So there's a script that actually pushes it out to the curriculum side. Yeah.
Just wanted to, you talked about cases. I wanted to ask about how it talks to, for example, First Class and Accelerus, which are 2 we use.
So it can, anything that's on the curriculum side, it can read from live. So if you're running, First Class and A+ for your attendance, it reads all of that data live. So as soon as the role's marked in First Class or the timetables change, it reads the data live. Yeah, the only thing it can't read live is the cases data, but there's an automated process where it exports the data how often you want to update it, once a day, hourly, once a week.
And then reporting, Accelerus, for example?
Manual.
Yep. For the reporting, it doesn't read directly out of the database. Once you've generated your reports, you can then attach them anywhere in the software that you want. So you can bulk do that in one hit. You don't have to do it individually.
With Accelerus, it looks at the kids' cases code. As long as you don't have spaces in the file name, it's fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't like the spaces.
That's a web-based thing with spaces, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, yep.
So you can attach reports, as in like end-of-year reports, but you can't create the reports within it?
Not yet. At the moment we're redeveloping this markbook so that you can actually write the reports in there, and so the reports you can basically do through your markbook. So like an Accelerus package. So we're hoping that will be, well, at the moment the plan is it's running ahead of schedule and it'll be done at the end of this year, ready for next year. So you can actually write your reports in it, yeah.
How much does it cost?
That's a question everyone asked. The cost is $5 per student for the staff side. So you don't have to buy the portal. That's like an add-on. The cost is $5 per student for the staff side and $3 per student for the portal side. So there's 2 versions of the portal. Just to sort of give you an idea, if we go back here, there's a free version of the portal, which comes with the staff side, and so it allows them obviously to log in. They can look at their contact details, they can download their reports, look at their timetable, news and calendar events. But the paid-for version gives you the career plans, it gives you the attendance, it gives you the messaging, it gives you the parent-teacher interviews, and all those other things. So it gives you basically.
That's $5 a year.
Yes, $5 per year. Yeah. So there's no, you know, like sometimes when you buy software, there's an upfront fee and then there's an annual fee. There's no upfront fee; it's just an annual fee which covers you for the
parent portal?
Sorry.
You said there's a parent portal.
Yeah. So this is the parent portal. Yeah.
So how much? That's
the parent portal. There's two versions. There's a free one, which comes with it if you buy the $5 per year, and there's a paid-for version which gives you all the extra features in the portal. Yeah, and that's $3 extra in addition to the $5. Yeah.
Is there a
Does that
school
make sense?
size? Yeah, it makes sense.
Yep.
School size, so if you're a smaller school,
Yep.
do you say you must have 300 students or
No,
500 students?
no, there's no. You can have 20 students, and it'll cost the same amount. On the other side of the scale, if you're a large school, it works out more beneficial for you because we cap the pricing at 1,000 students. So if you've got over 1,000 students, you're capped at 1,000 students. Yeah, that sort of makes sense. With the portal, while we're actually just here, the parent-teacher interviews does the whole parent-teacher interview online process, so you can set up different interview times and different dates. As you can see, I've booked most of mine for Chase, and it is basically just as simple as you picking the particular time, clicking the date, and it books that interview session.
Just, I might be jumping ahead, but if a school decides to go ahead with purchasing the software, is it inclusive of having someone come to the school and do like a staff PD to show the staff how it all works?
We charge an initial $500 to come out and do a PD with staff for the whole setup and so forth, and run you through the software, because there's a lot you can customise in there. So all the forms and so on, you can customise the names, etc. And so that's all part of that initial charge if you want to use that. Yeah, it's optional.
We've got 5 minutes.
We've got 5 minutes. All right.
Really
How
quick,
about any questions anyone has? While we're just here. Yeah.
I'd say the brochure.
Yeah.
So you can put in lesson plans and things like that. What does that look like?
I haven't got any on here at the moment. Yeah. But basically, it works the same way as your classwork and homework. You can set up different lessons for and make them available at a particular date to students. Yeah. We're also adding in at the moment a whole learning resources section as well. So that's coming in this next update, so that you can distribute things like ebooks and electronic books online to students based on what their class they're in, and all those other sort of resources you want to give students access to as well. Yeah, along with that lesson plan. Yeah.
Is there somewhere online we can look at this? Like, obviously we're about to run out of time.
Yes. Yep.
Is there somewhere that we can...
You can have a look at our website, and it's got all the information on there. Yep. Yep. You can register and for a demo. And so on as well, so yeah, that's all that on there as well.
And if you give him a coffee, he comes out to school too.
Yeah, we're happy to come out and give you a demo on site if you like as well, so. Yeah, sorry, yes?
Just wondering about blog hosting or wiki hosting within the software itself?
I don't have anything like that at the moment, no. No. One of the things we are sort of looking at the moment as well is the ability to pay for your excursions and school fees online. So the next update will have all of that in there, so that you can go in and you can pay for your certain excursion day with these particular costs. It creates all the invoices for parents to pay. They can pay online using their credit card and so on. The same for their school fees, and materials charges and all that sort of thing. So there's sort of gives you a good idea of where we're heading as well.
How do you get that data back into cases then? Because that's predominantly where it would sit normally.
Yeah. It's been a long process to get this to happen.
So is there going to be that?
Yeah.
You'd be exporting that into an XML file like the student.
Like the student attendance, yeah? Yeah. Yeah, that's always the problem. So, what we find in a lot of schools is the whole integration thing. You use another product, it doesn't integrate with cases or vice versa. So, we're getting pretty close, but still not, it's never going to be 100% because of the restrictions that we can't directly write into cases or all that sort of thing. So
Yeah, we use First Class, the A+ role marking module in First Class, and it integrates with this beautifully. So we're getting attendance graphs, charts, student-specific timetable. You can see lesson by lesson what their attendance has been.
So, any other questions? Well, I think we're probably pretty much out of time, I think, yeah.
And look, you'll be there at lunchtime as well. So just down the end, you'll see the same screen on the just on the front corner near the food. So,
so if you have any questions, come past, play with it if you like, you can use it and try it. So,
okay, look, we do need to keep to our 12:30 time. So in this room, we've got